Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we're going to do something we don't usually do. We're going to show you a bunch of snakes, right? Sometimes we get to where I just talk, and you should click like and subscribe if you want to see snakes, and you should click like and subscribe if you want to hear me talk, and you should definitely go check out the Patreon after that little ad there. Well, the best thing about checking out the Patreon, actually guys, it isn't even me. I would pay to see me. My wife would probably pay to see me. There's a few other people who are probably paid to see. We ain't going to talk about that. But the best thing about the Patreon is actually the community on our Discord with it and all the friends you get to make and all how active that is. It's one of the most active Discords you'll find for reptile stuff, for a Patreon and the buying and selling that happens there. So go check that out. But today we're going to show a bunch of snakes. We're going to work on what is moving up in size. There'll be several videos of this because several things are going up and too many to cram into one video without making it 30 minutes long, and Kurt yelling at me for that. So Caleb, do you want to bring the first one? These are all going to be things right now that they're going to be going to 20s or 40s. They're coming out of the baby rack. A few of them are a little overdue to get out of the baby rack, and that would be this one first, which remind me, this is a Pastel Mardi Gras, correct?
Yes.
This one would be a male, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yes. Pastel Mardi Gras male. All this is in-house produced. We're going to show you today. This is a really cool snake. This is one we already moved. We were doing a little cleaning, and we thought, you know what, it's time to have a graduation day. Kind of a jerk, as you can see, but look at the head on that. Very, very pretty. These are snakes that I like. So here's a difference in me and some other people, y'all. So these guys, not so long ago, were a couple grand or so, right? I don't know. They were up there. And the market has kind of fallen on these guys quite a bit because they're really not that hard to make, and a lot of people did it because they were chasing that 4-digit number, and now these are a 3-digit snake typically. I don't care. See that purple? I'm going to keep making them. I like them. I will always tell you, if you're trying to do this as your sole way of income right now and have to have employees and do all of that, you have to be focused on just money because you have other people's livelihoods at stake. That's not us. We don't want to do that. I get to focus on what we really like and what I really like, and damn if this ain't one of them. So we'll still make these. I don't care if the price on these, if the price on this snake was down to $250, honestly, I would still make them, and while everybody else rush to whatever, like a bunch of kids chasing a soccer ball, that's fine by me. So I'll give you this one back and let the next one come. But that's a really cool snake. So why are we keeping that? I guess we'll cover that in the Patreon videos, why we kept each one of these individual snakes. Because as I say, I make something that's pretty. Doesn't mean I need to keep everything that's pretty, but everything we choose to keep, we typically choose to keep for a reason. So what did you bring me now? GHI? No GHI in this.
Cinnamon
Yellowbelly, right?
Enchi Yellowbelly.
Cinnamon. We got 3 genes in this. This is a girl. Nobody serves. So Cinnamon Enchi Yellowbelly. Really cool snake. Really like the colors. I'll tell you, as babies, I think these things are prettier than they are as adults. To be blunt, as a baby, this thing was a smoke show. Still a really good-looking snake now, but you are going to get those colors going to brown a little bit. But it's a 3-gene female, which, I kind of like. I'm not interested in doing 17 genes in one animal, so when you're getting where you have the ability to hit some 5, maybe 6 genes, that's kind of where we want to be. Not because I really want to hit the 5 and 6 genes, but I want to hit less of the single genes or the normals. So having all those variety in there works for us. So it's the Cinnamon Enchi Yellowbelly. For those not familiar with that, it is the Cinnamon and the Enchi that are actually allelic as well. So when we breed this snake, I know I just said it's a 3-gene female. It can never reproduce itself, but it can also never make a normal. So everything that comes out of this will be at least Cinny or Enchi. The Yellowbelly will go to about half. So this is a really strong snake because of that. I like those allelic combos because it prevents the normals. And the normals aren't bad. There's nothing wrong with them, but it's just you make normals as a byproduct when you breed. Nobody's trying to breed normals. It happens. You end up wholesale them or sell them or whatever you're going to do with them. I mean, some of them get regulated to cobra food, to be blunt, too. Not here. We don't have cobras, but it does. We don't have the kind of cobras that eat that. Let me change my tune so I'm not lying to you. We don't have cobra. We don't have king cobras. I should say that. Cobras? I guess we don't have any nausea.
No.
But we technically, if you're looking at common name, yes. If you're looking at scientific name, we don't have cobras. So I guess I lied and told the truth at the same time.
Yeah.
I should be a fucking politician. That is some politician shit. We don't have cobras. Look at the Angolan cobra. It's not really a nausea, right? But anyway, when you prevent making those normals, less likely things end up as a cobra food or some of that. So that is kind of why I really like snakes like this. I'll give that one back. Let the next one come up. You got something you want to say about any of these?
I just find it really interesting. I was thinking about the allelic thing is, in pieds, black pastels make it to where it's pretty much an all-white pied.
Yeah.
And then Enchi makes it to where there's pretty much a no-white pied. It's interesting that the allelic, but they do the exact opposites in certain combos.
And that was a weird thing, too, because that was an allelic combo of two genes that have been around a very long time that really took a long time for people to figure out we're allelic together, which is strange. Usually it's figured out a lot quicker, but in this case it took forever. Now, this is simple. This is a single gene pied. I love pied, and this is one that likes Elena's water dish. So I will go ahead and kind of tell you guys why I chose. I know I saw something down on Patreon, but this one I'll go ahead and cheat and kind of tell you. This is the last one in this video. We're going to do 4 in this video.
It don't matter.
Okay. We'll do 4 in this video and only 3 on the next one. So the reason I kept this single gene pied is because when you look, there's a full white ring there. 1, full white ring there. 2, we're going to call that a full ring. 2 black lines touch. That's almost 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 6 or 7 full white rings, depending on how you want to count that. This, to me, is how I like my pieds. I don't need 80% white. I don't want 80% white. I really am not a fan of a truly high white pied. What I like, I'm also not a fan of a truly low white pied. I like it to be almost 50-50, which this is probably 60-40. But what I really, really want is I want a lot of breaks, a lot of white banding and white in places, which you've got here, 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 here. And what I always struggle with in the pie production we have is in this back end, we tend to get a lot of that. We don't get as much in the front end, whereas this one has a white band up in the first few inches of the neck, and that is something I like. So for you two guys, or for you guys, I also think that the emoji ball is something that you should be trying to breed for, although I'll tell you it's just random, and if you look in the pattern, you can find it in almost any pied. Right there's a face. Hi, I'm a face. Right here is kind of the face. Yeah, you gotta use your imagination a little bit. This one's kind of jack-o'-lantern looking, especially, and then there was one more I thought I saw up here somewhere. Yeah, that kind of makes one, Oh, right there's one I was thinking of. And this little small island, there's a pretty good little frowny face there. So, you just look in a pattern, you're going to find that. Anything else you got on that one?
Nope.
All right, we're going to do one more for you. Then we're going to go to Patreon and tell you why we chose to keep those other 3. That was a little preview of kind of how things go on there. With a little bit more F-bombs, a little bit more personal stories, and, whatever else I decide to tell you about. Patreon, maybe I'll tell you. Oh, you bring me a pissed off one?
No.
Not at all. So this one, let me look, make sure. Definitely Hellfire.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think if we called it a...
The question mark is on it, so I don't know what we have it actually labeled as.
So, yeah, I think this is going to end up being just straight Hellfire, but it could be a low expression Blitz. Again, so what is this? Well, truth is, we should have all of our answers this year. I think, assuming that a clutch goes well, I think it'll answer all the questions, and we'll finally know if this is just a new line of Pastel or an altogether new gene. For the record, let's say it is a new line of Pastel. I'm going to come out right now and tell you this on camera. Save the receipt if you want, as the kids say, or whatever the fuck you want to do. If I have this clutch that we hope, which I'll tell you what clutch it is so you can follow along, we have a champagne to Hellfire clutch. And the pastels and champagnes look a certain way every time. There's a reaction there. If I get that same reaction out of this with that, that will be enough evidence for me to feel confident in saying it's a new line of Pastel. If it looks entirely different, then that's going to be enough evidence for me to say it's different. I think that makes sense. So if it does look the same, it has that digitized look of a champagne pastel, we're going to tell you that this is not a new gene, then that it is just a new line, is a random line of Pastel popped up in our collection, and that will be the end of the Hellfire project. The Hellfire project will tell the story, but the name will die, because there's no reason to have multiple names for the same shit once you prove it's the same shit. And that's one of the things that drives me absolutely fucking nuts about the ball python world, just like the last video we did. So we will not do that same thing. I can't sit here on a soapbox and tell you how stupid that is for me to do it just to try to cash a check. That's not me. Now, if it proves to be different, then it's different. Then cash that check, right? But if it's the same, then we're just going to go with that. Now, if it does prove to be the same, well, we'll get it on Patreon. Anything else on this one?
Nope.
Might as well leave it here. We got to switch paper. Let's do it in reverse.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I see
Save some time.
going through this.
Going through. Kerning, you want to add? All right, YouTube, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.